Hello everyone and welcome to my CSU channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Julie Chrisley reveals she hung up on Savannah when pardoned. Julie Chrisley reveals that she hung up on Savannah Chrisley when she was told that she was being pardoned. Grayson, Savannah, Todd, and Julie recently did an interview with Donald Trump's daughter-in-law. During this, Julie and Todd revealed their first feelings and responses when they heard they were getting pardoned. There is a lot to unfold and uncover when it comes to this. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Chrisleys get pardoned by Donald Trump. Todd and Julie were in federal prison for tax evasion and fraud, as most know. However, they were pardoned and allowed to go home and have their records be clean. Todd and Julie had not seen each other in 2.5 years, so when they arrived at home, this was the first time they had seen each other in that time frame. They also got to be with their children again, which was the most important thing to them. Since their release, they have been trying to make up for lost time. Fans love seeing how they are living their lives now that they have changed drastically. Julie Chrisley has revealed that when Savannah Chrisley called to tell her she was pardoned, she hung up on her. When she first got the call, she just burst into tears. However, Savannah was quick to add that Julie hung up on her. Julie then confirmed what Savannah had said and let everyone know that she was so nervous she did not know what to do and ended up hanging up the phone. Fans thought this was funny as the family was laughing it off. Todd also revealed that he did not believe it until an officer came to confirm it for him. It seems as though Julie was so nervous that she accidentally hung up on Savannah when she called to tell her. Usually, people get bad news while in prison. However, Todd and Julie got some of the best news possible. Todd was in disbelief when he was told. He did not believe it until an officer came to confirm it. Fans are glad that the Chrisleys are back home with their friends and family. What do you think about this situation? When it comes to the Chrisley family, nothing ever seems simple. From high-profile reality television fame to prison sentences and whispered promises of political favors, their lives play out like a soap opera written for primetime. Now, with Julie Chrisley back in the headlines, the story has taken yet another turn. According to a family insider, Julie recently revealed the shocking moment she actually hung up on her daughter, Savannah, after learning she had been pardoned. The phone call that should have been one of the happiest of her life turned into a whirlwind of emotion, frustration, disbelief, and even anger. But why would a mother, long separated from her children by prison walls, react in such a way? The moment of the call. Julie Chrisley had been sitting quietly in the common area of her federal prison, trying to blend in and pass the time like she had for months. Prison life had changed her. Gone was the glamorous blonde matriarch who once ran her household with designer handbags and witty quips. In her place was a woman who now found joy in the smallest things: a letter, a paperback novel, or the brief sound of her children's voices on the phone. That afternoon, when her name was called for a phone call, Julie didn't expect anything unusual. She thought it would be Savannah, as usual, checking in. She picked up the receiver, already smiling, and heard her daughter's voice crackling with excitement. "Mom, you've been pardoned. It's official. You're coming home." Julie's heart stopped. At first, she thought it was some kind of cruel joke, or perhaps a mistake. She had learned not to let her emotions run wild in prison. It was dangerous to believe in miracles that might never come. But Savannah's voice kept rising with pure glee, her words tumbling over each other, as if she had to spit out the news before the moment disappeared. And that's when Julie did something no one expected. She hung up the phone. Why Julie hung up? For those who know Julie best, her decision makes more sense than it appears. In that moment, the flood of emotions was too much to process. Joy, yes, but also shock, anger at the injustice of having been there at all, fear that it wasn't real, and an overwhelming sense of vulnerability. She later admitted to close friends that she simply could not handle the tidal wave of feelings crashing through her. "I didn't want Savannah to hear me break," she reportedly confided. "I couldn't let her hear me cry like that." For months, Savannah had carried the family's burden, fighting publicly for her parents, taking care of her younger siblings, and being their mouthpiece to the world. Julie respected her strength, but also worried constantly about the weight on her daughter's shoulders. The last thing she wanted was for Savannah to hear her sobbing, gasping for breath, and unraveling over the phone. So she did the unthinkable. She clicked the receiver down, sat there in stunned silence, and let herself cry for the first time in months. Savannah's shock. On the other end of the line, Savannah sat in her Nashville home, phone pressed against her ear, stunned by the abrupt click. At first, she thought the line had dropped. She stared at the phone in disbelief, her joy momentarily turning to confusion and panic. "Mom?" she whispered into the silence, as though the phone might magically reconnect. When it didn't, she broke down, not from anger but from empathy. She knew how deeply her mother's time behind bars had affected her. The family had fought tooth and nail for this moment, but maybe, just maybe, the victory was too overwhelming for Julie to process all at once. Later, Savannah admitted to friends that she felt hurt for a moment, but quickly realized her mom's hang-up wasn't rejection, it was survival. She needed to take that in on her own terms, Savannah said. "And I get it. Honestly, I get it." A family divided, then reunited. The pardon news sent ripples through the Chrisley family. Todd, still serving his own sentence, reportedly received the news through his attorneys, and his reaction was described as equal parts pride and bitterness. While thrilled for Julie, he couldn't help but feel the sting of being left behind, still fighting for his own freedom. As for the children, the emotions were all over the place. Grayson and Chloe could hardly believe their mother would finally be home, and Nanny Faye, who had tried to stay strong through every twist and turn, was said to have cried so hard she could barely breathe. But it was Savannah who carried the story outward, explaining to fans why her mom's reaction was not what anyone would have expected. She described the hang-up not as coldness, but as a human moment in a very inhuman situation. "My mom has always been strong," she told listeners on her podcast. "But sometimes strength means you fall apart in private before you can face the world." Julie's first words after. When Julie was finally able to call Savannah back hours later, the two shared a long tear-filled conversation. Savannah, ever the fighter, laughed through her tears and said, "Mom, you hung up on me." Julie chuckled softly, her voice breaking. "I know, sweetheart, I had to. If I didn't, I would have fallen apart, and I didn't want you to hear that. I needed to cry by myself, just for a moment, so that when I heard your voice again, I could be the mom you remember." Those words became a powerful reminder of who Julie was beneath the prison uniform: a mother first, a fighter always, and a woman determined to reclaim her life. What comes next? The pardon has raised questions about what's next for Julie and the rest of the Chrisley family. Will they return to reality television? Will they retreat into private life, away from the cameras that once made them stars? Or will they use this second chance to build something entirely new? Julie herself has hinted that she wants to focus on healing, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, before rushing into any public comeback. Prison changed her in ways she doesn't fully understand yet, and she wants to process that before stepping back into the spotlight. But one thing is clear: her bond with Savannah, tested in ways few mother-daughter relationships ever are, has emerged stronger. That hang-up, instead of driving a wedge between them, has become a strange symbol of resilience. It showed that even in the most fragile, overwhelming moment of her life, Julie still fought like a mother, shielding her child from the weight of her breakdown. Closing thoughts. Julie Chrisley's revelation about hanging up on Savannah the moment she learned she'd been pardoned might sound shocking at first, but dig deeper, and it reflects the complexity of a woman who has been through the unthinkable. In that moment, she wasn't a reality star, or a public figure, or even a federal prisoner. She was simply a mother, overwhelmed with the news that her nightmare was ending, and determined to protect her daughter from hearing her fall apart.